Wow. You saw this story, right? Or we're going to start from.
You're watching the review of Liberian newspapers headlines that made news during the week on the Bottom Line Liberia. Please join us every Tuesday and Friday at 7 p.m. Liberian time, 8 p.m. UK time, 9 Central European time.
Okay, let's say welcome to the Bottom Line Liberia. Tonight we're going to be looking at some of the major newspapers in Liberia with their major headlines. And as usual, we come to you every Tuesday and Friday. And tonight we have Francis Mensah from Sweden, Paul Lord Chulupe from London, England, and Jamal Kamara from Manchester, England. So it's a house full, and I'm here from Norway. So let me say welcome to you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us. Yeah, I want to say thank you very much for joining us. Wherever you are, we want you to share the show. This is the Borderline Liberia. We did live discussion, so share the show, subscribe as well. If you come on, you also watch our videos. We got a couple of videos. Don't forget also to join our website, also on our internet radio that comes on 24/7. You can also check our apps on the iOS as well as Android. That was a good afternoon or good evening to you, gentlemen. Welcome again. And my name is Jamal Kamara, based in Manchester, London.
Okay, Paul.
Good evening, gentlemen. It's good to be back on the Borderline discussion. And yeah, I'm happy to see all of you, man. And today I'm happy to be among the living. So, guys, what's up for today?
Well, I'm good. And I guess Francis is good. So, Francis and Jamal, I'll be back 1 second. So, if you just take over.
Right, guys. Once again, I want to say thank you very much for joining wherever you are. Good afternoon, good evening. And join us this is the show where we discuss Liberia as well. And I want to say tonight I want to start with before we start with the major headlines that made news in Liberia over the week, I want to just go across and see how do we do for other part of the world. That is, what do you do how do Liberia do in Sweden? Francis, tell us, how does it look like in Sweden and how the weather look like today? Because in Europe, we always talk about the weather. Come on, say anything. So
Yeah, Sweden is okay. We having a mixture of cold and little, warm weather, but it's no doubt that the fall this year, winter is knocking out our doors. So yeah, we are bracing ourselves for the weather.
it's serious. Yeah, seriously. While people are crying for rain, heavy downpour rain, Monrovia, everywhere has been flooded like that. And we have the issue of cold. And, when I was in Liberia, Paul, we would be thinking like, we want to come to the cold. I want to be in the cold. And now it's getting closer to the cold. We want to run out to Liberia to get the sunshine. Oh, yeah, in one of the oldest cities in the world, London. Tell us, how does it look like in your area right now?
It's wet, it's cold, and the rain is just unbearable. It's like those rain in Liberia when it starts. I don't know what else is October rain. There's annoying rain that it just can't stop. It just ignores you. Put umbrella on, it's just completely pointless. And it's freezing cold. We're back to the long cold weather, brother.
Wow. Well, okay, that's the when people say that when you're talking about weather, it sounds so boring, but it is what we live with here in this part of the world. Yeah, weather
Yep.
is something that people don't want to talk about. But it's just like when you walk out of the house, your neighbor will be asking you. They just to engage you. They'll say, "Oh, the weather is cold today." They say it was sunny. Oh yeah, they got you engaged. You can't just approach someone and just say, "How are you?" They really don't speak because to get someone speaking, weather is the first way to start with. Probably if you're not around here, this is how we start our life here with the people, our neighbors. Anyway, guys, so we'll go straight into our action plan. What is on the menu? The major newspapers in Liberia. We want to start with the Daily Oracle newspaper in Liberia. Now, this is what we got. This is the story from, this is what it said, fixed change. This is from a statement from, is the Speaker of the House in Liberia. And this is fiction. Guys, I know you read the story and for your own way you look at it, from your own perspective, what do you think the Honorable Speaker was talking about? Anyone can pick up from. It's a fake change. This is the Oral Daily Newspaper Headlines.
Let Francis go.
Well, I didn't read the article, but fake change, Kufa declares Liberia deeply corrupt country facing. Okay. Well, I cannot comment on that. I think that statement was made in the United States when he served as keynote speaker at the 50th anniversary of the Union of Liberian Associations in America. So I think he was referring to, I guess, the new elected government that the change they came from, they are not actually doing the change or trying to make the changes that it should have been or it should be. So yeah, type of moral bankruptcy and hypocrisy and social banditry. That are strong words, Yeah, so yeah, for me that's how I see it. So I didn't read that story. So
Yeah, no, exactly, man. But you just rightly put it. This is why you kind of describing the leadership of UP government, people around and stuff like that. But don't it look laughable when you are the Speaker of the House on the same government? You're also one of the branches of the government. You're talking about these kind of, you're criticizing the system. How will people look at you, Paul?
It's laughable, Jema. This guy is on a budget that is huge, and today children going to school, they cannot even afford to pay registration fee for a government school. And if he think that it's a fake change that came about, wherever he from CDC, what they did the last time, and he on a huge budget, why can't he say, oh, for the future of our children, I don't need a huge sum of budget, let's put it into hospital and schools. So he said he's very fake. So that's how I see it. You see, in Liberia, what it's like you bar and then you always point finger to another bar person. You see, this is a situation on face with fake person telling some other people say they fake. They are all fake.
Linfa, you read the story as well. I guess you heard it. What's your take on this story from the Speaker of the House in Liberia?
I've always had this skepticism about almost all of the government officials, with no exception. And the reason is that these people have been in all governments, and it's the same story. So when Fonati Speaker Kofa was running for the speakership, yeah, everybody thought, most people, including even me, we thought that there would be some changes that he made coming from the opposition or coming from the ruling party that is now in opposition and working in this government. he would take the stance of the opposition parties. But again, like Michelle Obama said, the presidency doesn't change anything about you, no refusal. And that applies to all of the positions in government. If you are this corrupt person, even if they make you senator, representative, president, anything they make you, you say your leopard does not leave its spouse behind. So when Kofa is talking about declaring Liberia deeply corrupt, so is it a country that corrupts itself, or is it the people working in government? So for me, I got nothing. It doesn't come as a surprise to me. So I got nothing much to be surprised about, because I believe that this is the normal thing they go there to do. And until we can have people who are serious about bringing change to this country, we're always going to be saying the same thing over and over. And I believe, giving their credence, that we always discuss these things, make it for them to legalize it. People will tend to get used to it. It's like, if somebody calls you all the time, the first time will hurt you, but second time we kind of say, "Well, the man calls me so today, but then get cost." That's it. So we're always discussing the same thing over and over, and the fact that we discuss it and nothing happens, so it becomes monotonous. It becomes like we are legalizing it in a way that it becomes acceptable in the society. So again, since that change agent is not coming in the form of a president, to be followed by his ministers and all other government officials, we'll still be repeating the same thing over and over. So this is no surprise to me.
I think it kind of look like he's standing alone. He wanted, like he said, clean hands and pointing fingers at the other branch of government, saying that they are trying to put up something they're not even willing to represent. But in any case, I want to go back to Francis, Mr. Mensah, being a leader, and what would you do if somebody part of your leadership and saying something like this to you? And what would be a reaction? How will you handle it? Because you're part of the system and you keep coming up publicly to condemn the system.
Look, I mean, it's welcoming, but the thing is that, look, Liberia, we have the tendency, as we all alluded to the fact that we in a spiral of corrupt people, corruption every time. What will I do? I'll come to that question, but just in the later premise. Speaker Kofa was deputy speaker. He had a budget of almost $1 million and change as deputy speaker. Now he's speaker, he has something more than that. And he just increasing the number of people in his office. Where are they coming from? You got this Mama Sika, you got this person, you got you got everybody born in from the other board from Bon County. He was gonna come these guys to look. These guys did themselves. Balloon. The wage bill of the government. So as a leader, when you have somebody from your inner cycle criticizing you, you should have a sober reflection about that. You need to know why and how. The criticism actually came about. So it is good to criticize, and as a leader, you should be able to take it in good faith and move on, because corruption has always been the talk of the government. So we hope that the president will take cue from this and then do what is necessary. Because we all claim that he's Speaker Kofa is corrupt, so he doesn't have the right to speak. But so at least got somebody speaking about in the hurricane.
Yeah, thank you. This is if you see this thing, he's the head of one of the branches of the government, right? And speaker, I know head, the vice president will be the head of the house he belongs to. He's the speaker of. But he was addressing the 50th anniversary of, like you said, EULA in the USA, and he shows sense of skepticism that the system he belongs to is not going to change. So the story said, this is what the newspaper said. He said, I'll just quote the newspaper. He said, however, Kofa's remarks suggest a degree of skepticism about the sincerity of Liberia's crusade for change. He argued that those who call for change are often the outsiders, waiting to come in and do the same things, implying a lack of genuine commitment to systematic reforms. So he's telling us that he's bound to fail. There's nothing going to change. So he's in a system. So there's no need. He believed that the government that he's in there is not going to do anything better. So why is he telling us, like, whatever he will be doing, there's no way out? So this is a clear sign that the speaker will fail at the end. So he's trying to raise his hand out. This is going to happen. I said it before. We're not going to see any change coming up. So he's already.
But I'm not calling you, but the thing is, there are two ways to look at the statement by Speaker Kofa.
Okay.
Like I said, he's now in opposition, right? They were ruling party, now he's in opposition. And beside that, he's a speaker. So he's part of this government. But when he begins to blow these whistles, or whether he's blowing whistle or whatever you want to call it, it's either because he's in opposition and he doesn't see anything good that this government will do. Everything about this government will look bad to him, number one. And number two, it could also be that he's blowing early whistles so that people will know that this government is not proceeding the right way. So it's two ways to look at it. And then giving his position as speaker, it's also difficult to give a clear-cut answer as to whether he's speaking in a tune of an opposition that he doesn't see whether because that's what the work of the opposition. They do not praise the government very easily. They hold the government feet to fire. If the government say A, they say no, that capital A is so right, but it go right, small a. So it's gonna always be like that with opposition people and politicians, especially when they are in government. Then again, we gotta look at it other way, whether he's actually saying the truth or he's saying it out of sincerity. So it's two ways. But for me, he's not a correct messenger though. He's not a correct messenger. It's just sitting there and sit down kind of with the Holy Bible in your head trying to preach to me. I know he's speaking from the Bible, but is he the right person that should be preaching to me? So we also gotta be careful.
Yeah, okay. I want Paul to say, but I want to go back to. I'll go back to Paul now. I'm sorry. I'll make Paul to come on this, and I got something that newspaper said. He spoke on. He said he wanted diaspora to become a bridge between Liberia and the global capital. Highlight the urgent need for us to the challenge and transform the country economic landscape. And I think we'll be asking Mr. Mensah to tell us, like, with the diaspora link, is this something looking at? But before that, I want to ask Paul. Paul, does you think Speaker is a moral judge here, or he's been the political capital for 2029?
Jima, this is a funny situation here. This guy, he's the third in command, and his position, he can have a better influence on Liberians where he sits. He's the Speaker of the House. Remember, the 73 representative, direct representation of the people honor him. If he wants to effect any change, this is a guy that can set the agenda for that change. Is he telling you now or telling us that it's not possible? Then what does that say? His role. We know that Musa Berete, my good friend, Yeke Koluba, they've been crying on these guys for their behavior. This guy is sitting down, pretty that he could change things around. So it's telling us that Liberia goes nowhere.
Okay.
That's how it looks like.
The one statement from Francis. Francis, he said one thing. I want to highlight that the speaker said in his statement. He said he wants the diaspora to become a bridge between Liberia and the global capital. I think you're on a project Sunday. You want to just do one or two statements on that before we move to the next highlight of newspaper.
Yeah, definitely. I will make some. I will make a comment on that. Well, before that, if this speaker wants change, sustainable change, uh, there was some alteration in the budget,
Mhm.
right in his own nose in the Capitol building.
Mhm.
And I mean, look, why hasn't he taken some strong action? Why hasn't he been crying out? So look, these guys say that and they go out there to talk. I mean, because they want to, or seek sympathy and political or mileage, want to gain political mileage. So they should keep quiet on some of these things because you should choose your topic realistically. I mean, do something, not like fake change. Because you probably fake change. You are fake.
Mhm.
Yeah, and in terms of the bridge, the link of the diaspora, Liberians in the diaspora have been working concertedly to ensure that the uh, diaspora has a voice in the country. That is through elections, and we already doing a lot through the remittances that we send our families back home. So uh, it left with the government to create the avenue which he's part of. The government shouldn't be just be on the receiving end all the time from the diaspora through the money we send, and they should be there to open corridors, open opportunities for the diaspora to to invest, to have employment, to contribute the professional services of the government. So I think that's the breach you're talking about, and I mean the breach is there, is linked already. It just need for the it just need for the government to open up the corridors for the diaspora to be engaged actively in Liberia's activities.
All right. Thank you very much. So,
Yeah,
at
can I
this,
can I can
yeah,
I
go
just
on.
chip in 1 second,
Yeah, go on.
Chiba?
Leave or go on.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. And when we continue to talk about this speaker, he's talking about change, and he's that change agent. I'm not doubting that he can make it, though he's sincere. But there are several circumstances that we got to be looking at. It, it was alleged recently that with the same budget, the budget that just passed, that this same speaker and the president pro tem met with the president at the president's residence, not even at official working place, to 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 make some changes or to discuss certain things about this budget, where it is alleged also that the president did send instruction to the vice president through a note, and the speaker was present. So how isn't that double standard that at one point you want to be a fair guy, but at some other point you get two sides, you get two faces, one side blind, one side white. So when it becomes necessary, you show the white side. Then when it becomes necessary in your interest, you show the blind side. So then it makes it difficult for we the ordinary people, the common people down there, to make the perfect judgment. Because you could have good intention though, but the way you operate, the things you do, people gotta weigh your character, compare what you've been doing or what you've been saying to what you say you want to do. So it makes it difficult to just, like I said earlier on, to give a clear-cut picture of the whole thing. Like he's not serious or he's serious. It's difficult. You cannot have two faces. So, if anybody would doubt him, including me, it wouldn't be because we want to doubt him, but because of the activities that he's been engaged in. Meeting with the president as head of the lower house, okay? And then along with the pro tem, and since that thinking, I have not, maybe he did, but I have not heard him come out to publicly explain whether they met the president or not. And if they met the president, what was discussed, we know he may not be able to disclose all of what was discussed, or if they met, but at least just to confirm or deny that they did meet the president or they did not meet the president. So it makes it difficult.
Thank you. All right. I think a lot is being said about that. Now, just a reminder, if you're just joining, or this is the Borderline Live discussions coming to you from mainland Europe. Jamal Mohammed is my name, Jamal Kamara. We have Francis Mensah based in Sweden, Lane for Egongoa in Norway, Paul the Lord Chiddeplay in London. And just a reminder, don't forget to join us on Friday, the 4th of October. We'll be bringing in two special people, guests. That'll be Kingston P. Willis Sr. He's the president of the Union of Liberia in Belgium, as well as the vice president to ACO, is the Liberian diaspora organizations that are fighting for the radical Liberian diasporas around the world, more especially U.S., all around the world. And not forgetting our man, the Honorable Mark Muller will also be among one of the guests on the show. Mark Muller is the chair of the board of directors of EFLA, of the Federation, Liberian Federation, umbrella organization based in Europe. We'll be speaking about advocating for the rights of voting rights for Liberian diaspora. So we want you to join us on this Friday, which will be 4th of October, to share your thoughts. So we'll be bringing you the flyer later on the show. So guys, moving on, let's see what we got for tonight again for that share the paper. Tonight we have, this is another story coming from the independent newspaper against the untouchable, guys. I think this story has been circulating around. This has to do with the purchase of Amin Modab buying a very expensive car, and not only that, others being named as untouchable within this government. Anybody can take it from here, guys. What do you think? The untouchable within the government. What's your think? This is something common. It's everywhere. I don't think why it should be a big news. Even in the West, there are untouchables. Do you agree, guy?
Yeah, every government has untouchables. I don't know much about the Toro government. I saw them, but I was not in politics. I was small votes. But if you come to my own, okay, let's start from Duo. If you come to Duo, in those government, they were untouchables. There were those guys who could do things and just go. We have Falavani. Okay, we had Harrison Penner. This is the man who whipped a doctor who just came from GFK from doing some surgery when he got to the junction because he was coming and the doctor car crossed in front of him. He laid that doctor down around the road and whipped him. A medical doctor. And nothing happened to him. And you could go on name me most of the untouchables that were in the true government. Then my own MPFL people came. When I say my own MPFL, I'm not fighting for MPFL. I know for war. I journalist. And I live across the line all the time. I work there. So when I say my own MPFL, some people say, oh yeah, and then there. But of course, I was across the line. So, and I'm proud to say that I was there. So, and we knew that we knew when we were across the line, we saw there were some untouchables as well. There were guys who felt that they were untouchable. And let me make this point clear, okay, as a kind of disclaimer, that when we talk about untouchables in the government, it's not the leaders per se that will point there and say, this man is my untouchable. Nobody can touch him. But there are most people in all of the government that are just near me that will make themselves they make themselves to be that kind of person that, okay, yeah, we all contributed to this thing. And so I think are important, and the president cannot just, given their position. So there were some untouchables in the MPFL as well, until they didn't even know about some of them. They were their own law. And then we saw the Ellen government. There were people untouchables in the Ellen government. You had Robert Lee, her son, somebody who bankrupt the whole Nucar, the whole oil company, and then she took responsibility. Okay, and if you look at the weird government, you saw the likes of Koji, the likes of who else? A few of them, some of them, they were untouchables because given their position, giving their contribution to the party or whatever. So, and then we are in the JMB era. So you see that there are people like Amin Mudade. This is the man who bankrolled the Unity Party. As we all know, Joe Walker said he was broke, he was living alone. So Amin Mudade was solid, and those are the guys that are putting the digging in their pocket. Okay, so and I will tell you that some of the positions that these people occupy, Joe Walker did not say, okay, I will appoint you there. They chose the position, say, I will go here. And why? Somebody asked me, why would I say that? I believe that Amin Mudade chose this commerce minister position because the guy, number one, he's a businessman. Okay, his business interest is there, and he knows what he can get from the business people in his commerce minister. So he invested, and it's time to reap. So he's kind of untouchable. That was Dillon. Never he was carrying during election. We was showing that blue plastic bag that you're carrying around. Okay, so those are the people who made a government. So they are untouchable. Nobody Kanga invited Bwaka to Buchanan and show him that Buchanan people are going to, or Pastor people are going to vote for him. Okay, Prince Johnson is one of the untouchables. He appointed a single-handedly picked the vice president from Nima County, even without the acquiescence of the Nima people. So, you know, there are several untouchables, and we'll continue to see these people in every government that comes, unless otherwise, but there are always untouchables in most of the governments.
Francis, it's not a big news for us, untouchable. You've been around the cycle of government officials, Africa is not a big thing for, is it? We see everywhere, big boys, scheme makers, they do what they like to do. You can't do anything about them.
This is not unique to Liberia. This has been happening around the days for long. Even when we go back to the Torba era, where we had, Torba brother Frank Torba, who was one of the untouchables. Police director at the time,
Fanny
Dempster, all the people were untouchable. Colonel Rady, they were in the SSS at the time. This is not very unique to this government, to Liberia. But the thing is that the newspaper, the headlines, something has to be done with Liberia tabloids, the newspapers. They write the headlines, you read the story, it's a complete contrast. The headline does not correlate to what is written there. You quote Martin Cody on the guy, Mudade riding the car. He did not name the untouchables. Yeah, so oh my God. But I want to disagree with that. The Amin Mudade is untouchable. It's been rumored that the president is the second occasion that they are begging for Amin Mudade to retain his position. Because the president, the first time he did the right stuff, the president wanted to fire him, and they went it back in this time. So the second time I heard inside sources, so Amin Mudade and the director of LRA, Dawa Jala, they are not untouchable. There may be party stewards, but they're not untouchable. And I'm sure President Boycott at a point in time will make some very, very drastic decisions that will hurt people along the line, and they're coming soon.
Okay. Actually, look, I want Paul to look at it from a different angle, guys. I think let's do some comparison here. The past government, there were a lot of issues that came up, and people were calling for. There was a public outcry about some ministers should be dismissed because a lot of things were happening. 3 main people were on the list at the time was Magay, Tue, and who else? Well, one of the third person was there. I can't remember anymore. There was a constant cry that these guys should be released of their positions for many things that were happening. Even the leaked video about about Magay. I think we'll keep playing it here on this show. Paul, can we give it to Boaka leadership? Like the first 8 months he spent at the job, he has made some changes. I mean, like you see with the AB Chroma issue, there was an uproar in what do you call it? The anti-drug something where he has
And
to
the
suck.
The
LDA,
Yeah,
LDA.
the LPA, like, okay, these drugs something, and he has to get rid of the two guys that are causing the trouble, and that did not happen unaware. And
no,
It was
they are not
suspended.
suspended. They are
yeah,
not.
but
They are not
yeah, but
dismissed.
you didn't. Did you? Okay, I'm just saying something. Comparatively, they were suspended after the investigation report is out, but they have nothing has happened here. But I'm just want to give a little bit of comparison to the two. I want Paul to look at. You guys can take on it back one or two now. Is he not glistening? I think if you
Look,
compare the two, let's compare the two now. You can go to court.
Jamel, I mean, you're talking about 6 years and talking about 9 months. So
Yeah.
I don't think the comparison can. I mean, we can do anything. Can we do it specifically for the? I mean, we as first 8 months.
Okay, you can
Yeah,
do that. Fine,
yeah,
I agree.
yeah,
Granted.
yeah.
Let me give Paul that chance so you can come back to the Paul. You compare in the set first. We have 6 months, 8 months. What happened with the something like? And let's compare something that happened, and we had to take whether he did take action compared to this thing happening. Like you just told us right now, on two occasions, they've been speaking to the president to keep this guy in his position because he will get better and better and better. But now, did we see that in the first 6 months or 8 months of we are leadership? Paul, if you don't want, you need to comment, you can pass to other people.
Right. Jamal, thank you for that. Yes, there's something happening in the WIA administration in the first 6 months. There was a guy in the press secretary called some Money. I don't know his first name. He used to write all sort of things and defend the government on something. I think he was fired by WIA. Now, in the same WIA government, you have people that were untouchable. This is the same scenario that we face with now. If the president is serious, because when we talk about untouchable, we have to look at in Liberia family connection. It has been alleged that Abi Moda is nephew of the president. That's another thing. So untouchable people in government will go back to history. The Frank Tubber that used to whip people on Cleo Street there because he was brother of the president. He was very untouchable. So you have these people in government. Eddie Johnson Sirleaf's son, Raul Sirleaf, untouchable. So the comparison be what happened during the WIA, they call him Samuel Mane. I remember him. He was press secretary. He was very vocal. Well, WIA dismissed him. But he was not family member and he was not cloners of WIA. Now, in the case of Abi Moda, he was a party chairman that single-handedly sponsored that party. So, and then we've been told he's nephew of the president, so he's untouchable. So we did dismiss him. The question, we still wait to see, because the offense for what have come out, that means if the president want to do something, this is immediate release, fire. We know what happened with the how they call the finance minister that was asked to resign his post. So if that happened to the finance minister, then if the president want to set an example, he should do it on his alleged nephew as well.
So,
Yeah, but
so
Paul,
Paul,
before the other guys take on the issue,
I
the
know,
finance minister were health related issue.
I didn't know Boyka had a Lebanese background.
I think what we heard that the mother of
The mother.
Abi Moda is a Kisi, and that's related to the president. That's what we heard. Anyway,
The mother is no, his mother is Gisi or the mother is Lofa.
Yes.
What you call it, Loma.
whatever it is, so your
They
mother is
say
not
he
local.
been alleged that he's nephew of the president.
Oh,
That have been.
Francis, give me a comparison if you had to say something about the 6 months of we and out of the UPLA government. What do you think?
I think, in terms of, I think that there was no, we or the president, we had President Boyka fired the deputy minister for at the Ministry of Education for administrative reason. That's the only thing I know. Probably because I think he came from another political party, one of these arrangements. That's the only thing I can remember so far. So I think it's just better than 6 months or 9 months. I'm not more in the presidency. I think we giving of a whole year to see what happened, because most of the things we hear, they are all uh, allegations. It might have some truth in it, but yeah, the president, I think, gave him some time. Gave now, time. I mean, gave him probably 2 more months or so to see if he really takes some stand. Maybe in his mind, people are just getting adjusted and getting their feet out, getting their feet wet, into the positions. Yeah, but I mean, other than that, I have nothing else to really add or contribute to this to the question you asked.
Okay, Linford, quickly, what you got? 2 minutes. What do you think? Can you compare, or can we move on to the next topic?
Well, in the first 6-8 months of Weah administration, like Paul said, or this Managa, I remember even he and I went back and forth on Facebook one time. He was fired, and I think
Era money? Was it era money?
yeah, one man, I think same man.
Era? Okay.
Samuel Mane, he was the press secretary.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then a few other things happened. Even though there was this public outcry for we had to make shovels, reshuffles and or out of fire people, but he did not. But and again, comparing this kind of thing for me, I think it's a little bit, it's a kind of little bit weak game to play. That every administration has different head, and every head has different way of leadership style. So we even if we didn't fire people, or if he did in the first 8 months, we shouldn't be comparing that to Boaka. And if on the average, if anybody wants to compare Boaka and Weah, then we'll be doing this service to Weah, because Boaka is supposed to be this government guru, a man who grew up in government, okay, and lived all his life on government. Without government, he cannot live, because somewhere where you work for 45 years, I mean, the lifespan of every human being, is between 70 to, if you bless 70 years up to 80 years, okay? And in that time, you have growth time where you were born, you got to crawl and all the things and reach your man. So let's say, because this old man walked from Nufa County to come to Monrovia, so you're not small boy. So he would have been maybe 20, 25 before he came to Monrovia. So if you take 25 years from there, and then after 45 years that he worked, he spent about 65 years like that. So can you imagine? So he should have vast experience. If you're some scientist, he will be consultant. People will be, I think, scientists from all over the world will be coming to him. So he says government scientists that should know almost everything government. So to compare him, we are, for me, I wouldn't want to go that route. But again, he has his own way of governing. If I would expect that he would have been taking some of the heavier decisions right now, firing people and replacing them. And I heard somebody say, he wanted to fire Modai. So then, how does the government run? That if I do bad, you want to fire me, somebody will come and bear for me? No. Then that means the 45 years, I think it was just a wasted years. A year where he get work and got money to survive. So, everything you do, and that's what I like about the white people. Everything you do, they always have an experience. And it's on that experience that will judge you. Even if you go for an interview, they'll ask you, you get all the experience. What are you supposed to do? What have you done? So, the reason which will hold Waka in heart, will raise the bar for him is that he being in government all the time. If you make me president now, I'm a novice in the presidency. I don't know anything. So I'm prone to make a lot of mistakes compared to Weah, who have been president, even though he came to the presidency as a novice, but Weah has gotten some experience. So he put me and Weah is experienced more than me in the presidency. So comparing Weah, even though Paga had not been president, but he had serving government as minister and all these things. Okay. So he should be able to make decisions, And so we cannot be comparing him with anybody.
Right. Thank you very much. So we, before we move on, just want to take a short break. Then we'll come back. We'll let you know what we have on the this Friday. We'll take a quick short break. Then from there, we'll read some of those following us, their comment, if they have any. So, Linford, let's take a short musical break. You'll come back and you will read some of the comments we have.
Yeah,
from
okay. Let me see what we're gonna do here. We're gonna play one of our jingles, you know.
Yeah, then let's run. Then we don't want to stay too long tonight. We're going to be like an hour. So just read some of the comments from our viewers and our followers, so we can go on and we share our audience what we have for them on 4th of October.
You are watching the review of Liberian newspapers headlines that made news during the week on the Bottom Line Liberia. Please join us every Tuesday and Friday at 7 p.m. Liberian time, 8 p.m. UK time, 9 Central European time.
And yes, indeed, you're listening. Chima, we want to take down that. Yes, indeed, you're listening to the Bottom Line Liberia. And today, as usual, we are reviewing some of the major newspapers in Liberia with their major headlines. And like we always say, probably you have read these stories many times, and you understood them different way. But we are giving our own perspectives of how we understand it and how we can relate it to the events in the country. So with me this evening is Francis Mensah from Sweden, Paul the Lord Children from England, London to be specific. But man, that your part of London, how you call it? Croydon or
Croydon.
Croydon. You know,
Croydon.
You know, that one city I hate in Europe. London.
Croydon and they have Croydon. So
yeah, I just don't like London. I know that. I mean, it's my own bias. So London is beautiful, but I don't like London. So it's because of the traffic, people walking opposite each other. The whole of England, I don't like it. I always so clashing people because while I'm walking the other way, I think they'll be on my left hand side, clashing. And then Chima is there in the same England again, Manchester. But guys, tonight we're having great talk, we're having great discussions. And for those of you joining us for the first time, we urge you to make this place your home. Just like our page, and whenever we get on, you'll be notified. Share the show with your friends, invite them. And remember that we'll be back here on Friday. Like Chima said earlier on, we'll be having 2 guests, and we'll be talking something very important, especially if you are in the diaspora, you need to come. We're going to be having Mr. Michael Muller, or Honorable Michael Muller. Mike is the chairman of the board of directors of EFLA, that's the European Federation of Liberian Associations. And then we'll have Mr. Kingston there. He's also ex-official of EFLA, and they'll be here to discuss the importance of diaspora Liberians taking part in the elections or in the electoral process. Not only us sending money or supporting parties, but voting, actual voting. I can sit down where I can sit down right here in my house and vote in Liberia. That's what we'll be discussing. So if you're in Europe, you're in America, anywhere you are, Asia, anywhere you are in the world, be a part of that discussion on Friday. And we'll probably be taking calls. We'll probably be reading your posts and other things, your comments and other things. And so, guys, back to our story. You want to also read some comments. I can't see the comments on my board. So if you can see some comments, you can get highlighted. We can read it, and then we move on.
Not from my end as well. Hey, Paul, you got any comment coming from here? Please go on.
No, I'm okay.
Leave for go on.
Okay. I have one comment here that says hello. That is Mr. Thomas from Belgium. But guys, let's move on. So the New Dawn newspaper says tour post what? Somebody read that figure for me.
$8 million bond, criminal bond.
8 million?
Yes.
My God. What? I didn't know. What? So is this a capital crime? 8 million? But that bond, it will be returned or what? You know, legal. You got some idea on legal.
I think I think you need to. I think we have to let Paul advise us because he's a counselor by law. Paul, tell us why it mean it million.
So now, from an engineering to a counselor by law. Well, I think the best person to give for a clue here would be the ex-police officer on this program. I don't.
Why you want to put this guy always on the front? Anything have to do with lawyer?
No, the man a law enforcement officer.
Exactly. He goes on to me.
The guy has to be $8 million US bond, criminal bond, for him to be released. Wow. What do you think about this?
Let me talk before Francis take us through the bond. I want to go and serve in the Liberian government to be a rich man. This poor guy, now when became minister, he can now take $8 million and put it down as a bond. Jesus Christ. I think I'm in the wrong profession here and I'm wasting time.
You can credit that money though. You can credit that money.
The insurance company,
he might have
it's
some
insurance
property.
company that Paul, it's an insurance company that put the bond.
Insurance company can get the money.
Let's see. Before insurance company go, he might have some solid property that worth that money. So I think I'm in the wrong profession here. That's small money to put down, man.
Okay.
Francis, take us through, then we can tell him.
They get what the stuff, well, your idea, but what is this a bond about? What you think, what is 8 million? Is this not too much, or what is it like?
Oh no, besides, I think the value of the bond is actually connected to what
the crime
charges are. I think these guys were charged for corruption in the tune of, I think, how many millions of dollars. So the reason why the bond has to be high, you know, it was some ordinary persons, depending on let's say probably you had a theft of, let's say, $25,000. You can follow the bond would be probably I think it has some percentage. Yeah, I think most people, so of the amount. So so if you, let's say you stole 25,000 and it took you to court, and probably the judge will say you can post a bond for 5,000 or so. So you must have a property that insurance company will evaluate and appreciate your property, so that but 12 house properties around. I mean, he lives in the Ivory Coast, so he lives in one of the newest built cities in Abidjan, the areas, in Abidjan. So I mean, that's what the bond is all about. And if the judge were very mean, if a partisan judge or whoever, I don't know which court I don't know which court. He could have, raised the bar. But 8 million is a lot for Liberia, but in other countries, it's a change. In other developed countries. Yeah, so that's the reason why they gave that amount to be paid.
Yeah, my only concern is whether that money can be returned.
It's not actually physical cash per se.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, but all in all, I think for me the interesting part of this whole thing, whether to a fast bond or whatever, the interesting thing is that he has been accused, indicted, and he came back in the country to face the law. And I think this is very, very much uncommon in most African countries. In fact, in most countries around the world, because you'll find out that there are a lot of fugitives around the world escaping justice. So the mere fact that you are indicted in your absence, and then you can muster the courage to come back. I think I want to commend Tue for that. I'm not a fan of Tue, but it shows that there is enough maybe confidence in him that he's not guilty. Because Paul, Jamal, or Francis, or look at it, generally, how many of our government officials will be outside, not even in the country, but outside, and they being indicted, and then they show face. Some of them, by the time they got problem in the country, the next thing they run away. You will not find them. And not when they're government official, we have seen that. Henry Costa ran away in the night. A few other guys, the guy who took the CPP money, he ran away in the night. Many people do that. So, for try to come back, well, we gotta wait and see and hear what will happen from the judgment. But at least the fact that he could build up that courage to come back, for me, it sets a good tune. And then we'll wait for the investigations to go about.
But my question is like, tour overnight for the first 6 years in power. He just turned over. He became a millionaire because the properties that you'll be having value beyond 30 million. So if you can put that bond out through the insurance company, that says that you accumulate a lot over the 6 years. Probably what he was doing as a consultant or doing early leadership would have not gotten to that to making a millionaire. This is a lot of money. What he said.
That's why I say I want to go into government, because if you serve as 6 years in government, you reach. There are a lot of people I know from earning 12 years, they are millionaires. And then before Joseph Barker leave, there'll be more millionaires. So I think I'm in the wrong profession.
So if his property will be valued or appraised, that comes up with the value. So the insurance company will look at his property that have been appraised. They give you the value, and the judge or whatever, the jury will say, okay, we will give you this. We need a bond of this million. This will be at 1% or 2% of his property value that you have to put forward. I don't know what the percentage is. Just thinking, this is too much. So that how much money these guys are taking in Liberia. A minister, that's appointed minister.
Yes.
Wow.
Liberia is a failed state,
I don't know what to say. I'm just out of word, guys. We got to move forward. We don't have much time.
But we also got to be fair to. We got to be fair to some degree to Samuel Tuet. Samuel Tuet worked before he became minister. You were working.
What?
My man, lean for.
Samuel Tuet worked for some organization.
As what? And how much he was making per month?
He was making 135, according to 135,000 a year. He was yesterday. And I listened to
this guy was sent to Africa Coast when Eddie sent him to work for, I think, the African Development Bank. He held a position at the Ministry of Finance doing, I think, that was the Gafuan administration or the Americone. So which of the work he was doing as a truck driver in America before Eddie sent him? So what was he earning such money? These are all complete lies.
The man working at the African Development. Let's give it. No, you see the thing.
He worked in the African Development Bank. Listen now, this thing. That's what I don't. It happened that the guy who was the head of the African Development Bank, I met him in Abidjan. That Samuel was one of the most useless person I worked on, and he was sacked. Now we can have that argument, and I can show documentation. He was not on that salary. For Christ's sake, he's lied. They stole our money.
No, I'm not defending him whether he's true or not. Now, Samuel is here, and all the evidences people got, you can go deliver it. But I am telling you, I'm saying what he said. I'm not saying what I'm saying. I'm saying he said. So, like you said, you met a guy in the article. You can compile it. We need sufficient evidence. But because there is this tendency in Liberia where we run with information. And the bad ones too, okay? And I have become, not personally me, but the person I've supported in the election became a victim of this misinformation campaign that he fingered document and everybody took and carry. That today some people, even if you cut in that crow, they will say the man did it. So I've reached a point where I think I need to be careful how I say things. So that's what I'm saying, but I'm not, of course, Samuel Tuet, not my friend. I don't know him. I don't even know him. So, but let's move on.
Now, Guys, there's a breaking news. I mean, an hour and a half ago. This is what happening right now, guys. Someone just drop it.
Yeah, we got to confirm that because this is international. We got international implications. We got to confirm that.
This is a fact. Iran and
It's on television as we speak. Linford is it's on television. Now turn your television on. It's just happened 2 hours ago.
Yeah, but Jimmy, this you're not following
no, I'm not following it. I just want to. It's been going on an hour and a half ago. I just want to share with those who this friend, a brother, who just shared with us. Is to show that the war is at war right now for the Middle East. Now, this another brother just sent a message to us. Good afternoon, Butterland live panelists and my friends, viewers. I'm watching you from George Floyd Memorial Square in Minneapolis, Minnesota, US on this Tuesday. Thank you, Emmanuel, bro.
Emmanuel, bro. So they have erected George Floyd Square already?
Yes. This is it. Guys, I don't have much time again. Let's talk about the Middle East. I want to get one critical news story that we want to talk about before we go to the. This is the story. It's hard to talk about. I think if you guys want to talk about, it's fine. Sorry, this is not what I'm on. No, it was this one. Do you guys want to discuss it just for 5 minutes? I mean, I'm not talking about the United Church.
You're not really go business, religion.
No, it's not from the United Church. I mean, this is about religion.
Yeah, it is. It's for the Methodist Church. I mean,
I mean, about religion in general. That's how I want to put it, guys. It's about religion in general. Why they put money before
they're accusing the Bishop Samuel Choir of getting money from the guys from the States or wherever,
so they can allow their gay marriage or stuff like that in the church. Yeah. So I'm not talking about this church particular. It's like, well, just a little bit of view. What you think about this? Like, I was listening to a pastor yesterday, as Dinami or something. You were talking about the 10% tithe and stuff like that. It's not anywhere. If you go to other part of the religion, so you talk about you need to do contribution to the religion, like even in the mosque, even in the synagogue. These things happen everywhere. I'm just generally looking at from the general perspective, not particularly about the church.
But the church is all about money. I mean, it's clear. I mean, we see the ecumenical churches, the evangelical churches. All the people, my brother. I mean, it's all about money in the world. I mean. See, they live flamboyant lives while their followers, live in the basis of poverty.
I also understand that religion, general, religious institutions are where they claim dirty money. Is that true, guys? Do you know that?
It could be. I don't have any empirical evidence. I don't have any facts, but it could be.
Where they claim dirty monies, because if you go to
it's possible.
Linford, I know you don't have a good church-going guy, but what do you think?
You see, no, the church is like when I listen to people in Liberia, the government, the policy, the law that the government made in Liberia, that you cannot question or you cannot audit the security agencies, the NSA. You can't audit them. So saying you can't audit them, you create them as a center for corruption because nobody can audit them. So if I am president, I want to steal certain amount of money, I put in a budget. When the budget passes, I say for NSA. Then right after the budget pass, I call the NSA director. I say, my man, that team over there, you know what? Call it and send it to me because nobody will audit them anyway. So it's a church. I don't know. Maybe in most countries, but I don't know what about law. There is any law on books in Liberia or elsewhere in the world where you can audit the church because the church as it stands or all of the religious institutions, not only the church, it could be the mosque, the whatever. Okay, as they stand to be anonymous, they stand to be independent. Even though government may choose to help them, but they are independent body. The money that the pastor collects as offering and tithes He does not report it to the government, and he doesn't make any report to government that so money. Maybe they do, because when I was in Liberia, I was a member of the Open Bible Church, and we used to have monthly meeting where
I understand you were the treasurer, I guess.
no, I will not. If I were the treasurer, I'll be rich by now. So you see, the church, like somebody is saying that the church could be used as money laundering center. It could be in most of the big churches, okay, in developed country, because nobody auditing them, nobody can check them. So imagine, look at the Vatican being inoculated by itself, and the Pope sits there, and the guy is well protected. Nobody, so anything could happen. And when it comes to putting money before the faith, like the caption here says, religion has changed to something else. And that's the reason why the Bible, if you study the history of the Bible, they'll tell you that the Bible was written originally in 3 languages. Okay? Aramaic, Hebrew, and something else. Okay? And people have changed these things. People change it. The language that the Bible is, people are even, scholars are even saying that some content of the Bible or certain books of the Bible were deleted, or the people took away intentionally, because people wanted to inject their own feeling into it to gain. And I believe in God. I hate to be calling myself Christian. I believe in God, right? I believe in the Creator. But I was reading somewhere where you got the names God created 7 days according to the Bible. 7 days. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to Saturday. But if you look at these days, their names are named after certain gods, certain powerful gods. So you think God will create our born my child and go name him after John Peter? I can name him, I can put a name on, I can put my name on it. So those gods that got the names of the weekdays, is God afraid of another God that he will create on days and take it and name it after another God? Understand? So people change these things to suit their own ego. So that's why I have the same Bible. I read the Bible extensively. The Bible tells me that I should study to show myself approved, a workman that needed not to be ashamed. And the same Bible also tells me that during Judgment Day, if there will be something that I'm still struggling to believe, that during Judgment Day, I will be responsible for myself. I will not say Paul or my pastor, so Paul told me to do this. So why I can't study to read now, and what our religious people are doing right now, I hate to go into the religious discussion, is that they will come to me and tell me, say, or come to us and tell us, say, believe this. But then when we begin to think critically, then it becomes problem. They say, no, don't think critically. Just believe what we tell you. Okay, but God is saying that I should study to show me, I should use my head, because I'll be responsible for myself at the end of the day. Okay, and I still find it difficult to see what God will make or lean for, which is almost nothing compared to all the people in the world. People who from Adam days to now, I'm just nothing. I'm like a grain of sand on the beach. So God will waste his time to come judge me on one whole day, Judgment Day. When he knows me. So I still struggle to understand that part. But the fact just to learn, people are monetizing religion. I don't know about much about the Islam, whether people can pay tax or whatever. But when it comes to Christianity, people are monetizing it. People making money, making things that you have to buy salvation almost. If you don't pay tax, some pastor or priest, you don't pay your tax, you don't pay your offering, you're not going to heaven.
I think in Islam, it's not like a paying tax. It's like people are asked volunteer to contribute, but those money are not accounted for. That's the different thing. It's almost the same thing in the church. Because if in Islam, they'll like ask for contributions, sacrifices made to call it zakat and stuff to help the needy. Those who handle funds, they don't give, most of them don't give account. That's what the issue is. Guys, Paul, talk to all them. We can go around, guys. We got no much time. What do you think about you run the Give and Take Church as one of the pastors?
Give and take immediate ministry. That's why we don't accept money. And when people come, wherever they put in, they get it back immediately. We know the church is where if you're a drug cartel in Colombia, you get millions of dollars, you go to service, you say, God, for stealing people money off of selling drugs, you get a church, well, over 2 million, they take it. Nobody going to ask the church for that money. So that's where they clean all the bad money in the church. And that is the fact of the story. You see this story here before, I know we're going to go soon. This story related to gay issue. The reason why the church suffering from this, the guy who wrote the King James Bible that was commissioned by the King of England, he was a gay. So anything a gay man do, just expect this to follow. That's what the Bible today, the church is struggling with it, this behavior. King James Version, the guy who wrote it, he was a proper gay. Period. The church is where they clean the dirty money.
All right, guys. Like, guys, want to take a round. I know the at the moment the war in the Middle East. I know we don't have that much of ideas. It's a very difficult subject to discuss, but just give your personal intake. We are at the brink of a total war right now, with Iran getting involved, Israel with the nuclear power, and they got nuclear weapon as well as Iran. Where are we, guys? Just your personal take on this that we can call a night. I'll start from I think Francis will be leaving us soon. We won't be.
Yeah, let me just take a jab at that. Look, from my personal point of view, I think the trend in the Middle East is alarming. Israel have been given the carte blanche to wage war on the people of the Middle East, the Palestinians, the Arabs, so to speak. Since 1948, people land was occupied. 1967, they came up with an agreement. 67, 69, around there, about they came up with an agreement. And since then, Asia have been the only a country in the Middle East that has all the weapons. Iran tried to measure up to them, but the West, America and the West just do not want it. And so, yeah, it's very unbalanced. The imbalance is there. It's so huge, so that Israel has the edge. They had the iron. I mean, the missiles, the ballistic missile that was launched today, or none hit any part of Israel. Because they had the Iron Dome. They had 3 layers of air defense system. Unlike the other people are bare naked, using all the bombs made by America. So that's just it's so annoying. I just don't like to talk about it or watch the images.
We understand, but it's something like you sound like you don't want to talk politics when the politician decide your life, So it's always good, because look what's happening right now from the Gaza, from the Palestine, the Gaza, from Gaza going down to Lebanon, to the Hezbollah. It's going creeping to Europe, other part of the world, just like when Ebola was creeping on us. America has to get involved to make sure that it stop what are going to spread. So it's I know it's very frustrating to talk about it. Just give a personal view. I'll make Linford last. Paul, the war in the Middle East, we are on the brink of a total collapse. Is it a serious warfare?
The war leaders were just in New York giving America and Israel warning. The break of war in our region will be devastating for the war. We have the war players here. I will take you back. When the Arab uprising started, Syria, America went for Syria, all those countries. When the Russians stepped in, Hassan Rami, state president, right?
Yeah.
Iran is heavily backed by the Russian. America backed Israel. Look at it from a logical point of view. This America have influenced other people to put sanctions on Russia. And Russia have alliance with these people. Anything that but pay back, so if they take intact that going on, this could be bad for the region, it could be bad for the war. I said it on the program last time. You have the Ukraine war in Europe, then you have that. How do you handle both? It's going simultaneously. Something going to be bad for us. And this is how I've seen it. Iran tested, they sent over 200 missiles. They say it's just the testing, but they were targeting military facility. And they say if Israel retaliate, they will come with more. So we don't know. And other countries around there that are involved, you get Jordan, that is also US have their base, Qatar, they have their base. All of these countries will be targeted. So this is a serious thing that the war leaders saw, were telling them the war should not go that far. It seems to me that this guy called Benjamin Netanyahu, who been backed by Joe Biden, will have a serious war because the Israeli, when you attack, it's take for tack. So we're in a serious crisis pretty soon. Now, the Russia has just developed a thing they call a supersonic missile that nobody anti-war system can stop. Will it give it a uranium to test? We yet to see. So we should all be worried. It's a serious thing going on. It's no joke. The war leaders have said it, but that old man in Washington refused to listen. This is where we are.
Linford, this will be our last round, guys. Then we can take then we take a exit from here, guys. If you just join our bottom line live discussions, we're just discussing the newspaper now. We're just taking our own personal view on the world right now unfolding in the Middle East. Linford, what is your take?
The war is scary, or just the news about the war itself is scary, and then the actual play that is going on now is scary. And it's scary for several reasons, but a few of the key ones that I think should be concerning us. Number one, global security is at risk. No, the world right now, almost everybody got some kind of enemy. If you do have economic enemy, you have social enemy, or war brutal enemy. Now, let's look at the groups that are involved in this war. If you go back a couple of years, for 9/11, okay, from that time, everything between anywhere in the East, whether that Middle East or what, in the West, America to be specific, everything changed for 9/11, even though they have had their skirmishes, but things became worse after 9/11. And they blended certain group of people as well, terrorists. And that's the people from the Middle East or the Arabs or whatever, Iran and all the groups, okay? And they follow throughout. They are being at war. America has been at war with Hezbollah. America at war with ISIS. Then they were at war with what the Bin Laden group need. And
Taliban everywhere. Taliban.
Yeah, everywhere. So America has several states or several rods in the fire at the same time that are getting red. And as a blacksmith, if all your irons getting red, you need to start beating them. And ask yourself, how can I beat all the red irons at the same time? When I mean red iron, they're in the fire, they already red, they're ready to be shipped. So America has, I don't want to say enemies, but they've been in every little thing around the world as they call themselves the war police. Okay? Number one, Iraq. America went into Iraq. They accused Saddam Hussein of what? Weapon of mass destruction. When he went, at the end of the day, they denied, or they even admitted that he did not have weapon of mass destruction. But where is Saddam today? They killed Saddam. What happened to Iraq? Iraq got damaged. It would take a long time to build Iraq. So the Iraqis, you think they are happy with America? I mean, let's be frank. I'm just speaking as me. I don't influence any decision though. My belief or what I believe in does not influence anything. But it's just me. Like maybe sitting in my own corner, eating my dry bread, and then I'm thinking that way. Then the Libyan factor is there, where they came to Africa and grabbed Gaddafi and killed him. So the people of Libya will not be happy. Now, then they went to Syria. They attempted grabbing Bashar by some luck. And I still don't believe that guy even survived. That the guy is still president today. You think you'll be happy? You'll be clapping? Okay. Then let's go way to Asia. They and the little fat boy.
Afghanistan.
Yeah. The little fat boy, the guy agree. and you think that if anything happens, that boy can on our hand support somebody. No, I'm just being real, right? I'm not saying this is what will happen, but I'm just being real. So it's scary. And Israel, I don't know what makes Israel to believe that it is that Israel that was in the Bible where God could open water, the Red Sea for them to pass through. They stay thinking that way. And so if they stay thinking that way, that you can be attacking, you don't know. No, the country, in Liberian parlance, the country people say the breeze that will disgrace the chicken can come from the backside. Because the chicken get further to the pot. So when the breeze blow from the pot, the backside can open the pot. It can disgrace the chicken. So why Israel is thinking that they are so powerful, some little country will come from somewhere. Just look at the Goliath story, the David and Goliath story. So they got to be careful. All these things, it will affect all of us. That's why some are all talking. Or else I said in my little corner, I go do my little work and come back home and eat. And I'm fighting nobody fighting me. But if it happens, or everybody will be affected some kind of way. Maybe where I can get my bread from to eat, I will not be getting it again. That's why some are all talking. Or else we'll just sit down and look at them. But this is a global crisis, and those involved must be very, very careful. We saw the Ukrainian war. People thought that you're going to be few days, and yeah, people thought it would be few days. We've got a few years now. Okay, you got Ukrainians displaced everywhere around the world. So you can't open war front. You can't open war front or war. I don't want to, I don't want to accuse Biden of being the one. No, America. I don't want to accuse America of telling Israel go and fight. Yeah, they may be supporting Israel, but again, Israel got to know that you cannot fight everybody. Yeah, you're not that you can't be strong to fight everybody. The same way Goliath and David killing, there are still some Goliath somewhere, and there are still some David somewhere. So you gotta be careful.
Let me ask something before we go quickly, Linford. You see the Eastern Europeans and Germans that left from Eastern Europe that went to Israel, that they took them there, that don't even look like Yasser Arafat. They look very white English and how they call it Germans that are not claiming that they are the true people. So the people, they landed on, those people that were there, they were Jews before they changed to Islam and other religions. They are the same people. So these guys that changed their name from Slavia, Molovice, and all these names they carry, they started picking the Old Testament names and giving it to themselves. They the one that God gave them the right to kill people. And you rightly said it, some small potato is not in the 1960s. We in the 21st century now. So what will we have here? You get the group in Yemen, you get the Hezbollah, you get the Hamas, and you get these people, the Lebanon, they go on, they get their own. At some point, their army will retaliate too. Then you get Syria right there that also don't let. So there is a big crisis that we're looking at. And you rather say everybody have their own, and somebody just put here also the economic side, gas, oil, etc. This is all it's all about. And other thing that America back in there and Great Britain, me are scared being England at the moment because anytime America call, the other stupid country can get caught with them. Without seeing
just look at the distance between.
All right, guys, we need to end the show now. We need time spars, guys.
Where is America? America is on the other side of the Atlantic. Israel is right here closer. So if there anything before America can send troops, it will be late.
No. You see what happened like that? They look at the geography of the world. Alaska is closer to Russia, and they are all close.
Thank you very much. I know it's a serious issue we have to discuss. We have got so far, guys. I want to say thank you very much for wherever you join us from. We want you to like the show, subscribe, and we'll come on. You will follow us every time. We are here Tuesday and Fridays discussing Liberia as well as the word. Don't forget to join us on a Friday, the 4th of October. We'll be bringing in these two gentlemen. We'll be discussing the voting rights and Liberians outside. The Liberian living outside Liberia. They want to take part in the electoral process in Liberia. So we want you to be part of the show on the Friday. This is on the 4th of October. That will be Mr. Mark Muller, Honorable Mark Muller. He's the chair of the board of directors of EFLA. That's also the European umbrella organizations in Europe. And also we have Our brother Kingston P. Willett Sr., he's also the president of the Liberian organization in Belgium, as well as the vice president to ACO. There's a group of Liberian diaspora that represent voting right and other political right for diaspora based in the USA. He's the vice chairperson. You'll be also on the show on a Friday. And wherever you are, we were discussing, we said thank you for joining us. And we like those who contributed to the show. We say thank you very much to the panelists, our brother Paul Delorcho from London, His Excellency as Francis Mensa from Sweden. We got our own man Egon Gue, based in Norway. Guys, thank you very much, and I will see you on Friday. We want to join you, and don't forget to subscribe and share the show. We want to take a leap of you and say have a pleasant Tuesday night. And we'll leave you with a special song for Liberia. If you mind, we all want to share Liberian peace, what they do in Liberia. So this guy is one of our favorite these days. So we're not playing a national anthem this time. I want to take you home with this one, guys.
I go to my uncle place. He telling me you know easy. I go to my auntie place. She telling me you know easy. That who I will complain to, but my uncle ain't complaining. That who I will complain to, but my uncle ain't complaining. Liberia people probably can't finish. Everything that probably just increasing. We take pay, can go in kitchen. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Liberia people probably can't finish. Everything that probably just increasing. We take pay, can go in kitchen. Oh Lord, oh Lord. My sweet girl. You better manage what I get you for the weekend. Lay all the country where I eat you for the respect. Yeah. 10 months and I waka. They can't pay me for my waka. The whole country now scatter. Everybody on yama.
This is the